Well, hey, what's up? Let's get right into it. I can't even intro. Let's go. Let's just go. We're here. Uncharted, rooftops, peekaboo, 1955, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're getting right into it. It's command. Let's go. Alright, we're bringing it to him. Good start, aggressive, you know. It's what you love to see.
Normally I dislike sharing.
Normally I dislike sharing. Alright, I guess. I don't have any big opinions on sharing. Yeah, why did I even go? Anyway, so we're taking it to him. We're taking it to him. What are we taking him? I don't know. A birthday cake. Here's your birthday cake, mate. Hope you love it. Oh, he loved it. He loved it so much he just dropped dead. So much sugar he couldn't handle. Anyway, we're both dead. I'm officially dead. Peekaboo. No, he's dead too. Okay, I'm all over the place already. We've got a lot of Lazareviches on our team. Or a lot of Lazar bitches. Wait. What? Am I saying we've got a lot of bitches, like women? Or am I saying we've got a lot of Lazareviches and he's a bitch? What am I saying? Try and decipher it. Try and crack the code. Because I don't even know what I'm saying. I think it was the latter. I think it was the one about Lazarevich. Because we've got two Lazareviches with the standard skin. So, that was more... I mean, I've just given it away. Anyway, speaking of Lazarevich, how about that Lazarevich, eh? I mean, I haven't played Uncharted 2 in years, but I remember saying in my Uncharted 4 video he was, like, the best villain, and I'm just there rewatching it like, huh? What? Lazarevich? Really? I don't know. I mean, he's the most, like, intimidating and threatening. He poses the most physical threat to Nathan Drake, which is apparent with the final boss and all. Or the final chapter, I guess, you know, the fight against him. It's a physical one. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, actually. I had a really great idea, or at least I thought it was a really great idea, about Uncharted 3. You know how Talbot, you know, he's like one of the main villains in Uncharted 3. You know how he just kind of appears and disappears, and he seems to have, like, superpowers, and he's just a bit mad, he's just a bit mental? I remember thinking that it'd be really cool if in Uncharted 3, they went full on with that. And so, in the ending fight where he fights, where Drake and Talbot fight on the, you know, the rummages, the ruins of Ubar, and it's all falling apart, and you know Sully's there, and he shoots them, and or Nate shoots Sully. You know what I mean? He's got the rock, and then he shoots him, he falls down. I thought it would be really cool if instead of just a fist fight, I thought it would have been a really cool supernatural element if Talbot just turned into one of the Jinn. He just turned into one of the Jinn, became one of those fire spirit things, and that was the final boss. You fought him as like a Jinn. Or whatever, however they're pronounced. That was my idea. I thought that was a really cool idea. I thought that would have tied together his whole inexplicable thing. I thought that would have tied it together, because it makes sense to me. It made sense to me there was something going on with him. Something not quite human, if you get me. And with the whole Spirit of the Jinn thing in the game already, I thought, hey, maybe that's the reveal. Maybe he's actually one of them. Obviously, I'm not sure how practical it is, but I just remember thinking that would have been a really cool end bottle. Bottle? What am I on? Bottle. My microphone stand's technically a bottle. What I mean is battle. It would have been a really cool final boss battle, because he would have just been like flipping all over the place, and you know, he zooms there, he teleports there, he's here, he's over there, and you got to take him out. I just thought that'd be kind of cool, more, you know, more unique maybe than a generic fist fight. You know, like I think I said in my Uncharted 4 video, hey, it's fitting though, you know, you spend the whole game doing the melee combat, why not one more time? I mean, sure, I guess, but I don't know, it's not it's not the most exciting ending, is it? But I guess now, you know, with Uncharted 4, you know, hindsight, I guess it's too similar to that, because they're on a burning pirate ship. But either way, I think that would have been a much cooler ending to Uncharted 3, and I think it would have fit a lot more with how Uncharted 2 ended. It was very supernatural, you know, it had this Shintamani Stone power. Yeah, I don't know, I just think that would have been a cool ending. Sue me. you won't get a lot. Maybe this channel. Hey, maybe you can own this channel, and you can just delete it. I'm playing terribly. I've gotten 2 downs and 3 KOs because I probably still want to peek boost. So there you go. We don't have a single hill. The team don't seem to have a Scooby-Doo. What's going on? A Scooby-Doo. Yeah, okay. Oh, Scooby-Doo was great back in day. You know, I remember having the DVD for that one where Shaggy turns into a werewolf and he's driving in like a racing tournament or a contest. I remember looking on the back, and apparently that movie came out in like in the 1980s. It came out like a few years before or after Back to the Future, which, as I mentioned, is my favorite movie. And I remember just thinking, how is that even possible? How is it that old? So yeah, I don't know. Scooby-Doo was always a lot of fun. I always liked the live action movies. I thought they were really bizarre, I guess. And obviously, you know, the guy who plays Shaggy, he was perfect casting, and really everyone was perfect casting. They all, that was perfect casting across the board. Yeah. Not much to say about it, really. Scooby-Doo is alright though. They're making a new one, aren't they? I don't know. I've only seen, I think there was a trailer, but I didn't watch it. So the entire team's down. That's a great revive, you know, just really quick, just pop, bam, it's calm, you know, we've got him. Why did it say oh, because he was, what was I saying about Uncharted 3? So yeah, getting back on topic, is Uncharted 3, because at least that's somewhat relevant to Uncharted 4 multiplayer gameplay. Yeah, I don't know, that's just my idea. What do you think? You know, what did you think of Talbot as a villain? I thought he was okay. I liked him. Fair enough. Fair enough. I liked him well enough just because I thought he was kind of weird, and I thought he was kind of unique for a villain, and also because I thought there was going to be some sort of reveal like that. And there wasn't. So, I don't know. We'll see, you know. Maybe one day I'll finally make the Uncharted 2 video and I'll say, oh, Uncharted 2 is good, but it's no Uncharted 3, and then maybe I'll replay Uncharted 3 and I'll be like, this game's shit. What's this? Like, there's no way to know, you know, and it's like with Star Wars for me, you know, every time I rewatch Star Wars, my ranking seems to change somewhat, you know. Last time I watched Star Wars, A New Hope was my favorite, now Empire is my favorite, but I haven't rewatched The Last Jedi, and I have a feeling that may end up being top 2, top 3, because it already is. Oh, and speaking of Star Wars, because we're just gonna get onto that again, they released a TV spot called End, or The End, and there's a lot of hints in the movie that Rey and Kylo Ren seem to be teaming up at some point. They seem to be working together. So, I'm not sure. Maybe, I don't know, my immediate thought is that maybe Rey and Kylo Ren are teaming up, and maybe Rey double crosses Kylo, and that's why they get into it later on the Death Star or whatever. Because maybe they need Kylo's help, and maybe she's like, I don't know, maybe the Resistance is like, hey, you know this guy, maybe you can convince him to help. I don't know, I don't think they'd be for that, really. I've got no idea, okay? And that's one of the things I'm interested about with Episode 9, is that I've got no idea what's going to happen. So, while I'm excited, at the same time I'm kind of like, well, what's actually going to happen in the movie? You know, I've got no idea, whereas with the game's ended, but I got 4 downs. Right, I mentioned in another episode on Rooftops that Peekaboo gave me shit after a match. This was the match. I remember this so well. I played so bad, and I was so... oh, I was bloody raging. And the reason I was raging is because the main guy on their team, it's Fahad, or whatever. He was just bloody pissing me off. So, yeah. I was angry. Anyway. Yeah, so not a very good game. Is that episode 49, or is that episode 48? No response. No one's gonna answer me. Okay. Well, we can just check. Oh no, it is number 49, because that one's number 48, so this one must be number 49. Yeah. Anyway, so talking about Star Wars, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited, obviously. I think the movie looks great. I think it's gonna be great. Maybe not as good as The Last Jedi, but who knows. Definitely, I think it'll be better than The Force Awakens. I think already it looks a lot more interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard because, like I say, I know nothing about the movie. You know, going into The Last Jedi, I had some theories, I had some ideas. My main one was just that Rey wasn't going to be connected to any other character, and she was going to be, you know, just nobody, and that ended up being exactly true. And yeah, I don't know. Like, going into episode 9, the main thing for me is that I feel like I've got a poster up there of Kylo Ren and like stormtroopers. They're just there. So I point over there because he's there. Ugh. My main theory going into episode 9 is just that Kylo Ren's probably going to be redeemed, and while I feel like it's less likely, I feel like the whole Reylo thing might happen. I mentioned that in my Mary Sue video. You know, if that does happen, I feel like there is definitely a possibility that could happen. But that's one of those things that I don't really want to touch because so many people are very opinionated on it. They're very opinionated. Some people are like, oh, it's abusive. I don't think it's that deep, and I think it's kind of silly to compare a fake story of, you know, space drama and all this guff to real life abuse. I feel like that's kind of I'm not sure about that. But yeah, I don't know. There's plenty of talking points on both ends of the both ends on the opinion stick. What? But yeah, I'm almost certain at this point, Kylo Ren, he's gonna get redeemed, and I don't think he's gonna die. I think he's gonna be redeemed, and he's gonna live. And for me, back when Episode 8 first came out, Last Jedi, after like a month or so, I kind of feel like, oh yeah, Reylo's probably gonna happen. I feel like those two things were kind of hand in hand. You know, one happens, the other happens. That was my finger just cracking. My fingers are horrible. Like they just, ugh. But yeah, now I'm not so sure. Now I feel like maybe he'll be redeemed, but maybe that romance won't happen. Maybe he'll be redeemed and he'll die, or maybe he'll just die. And while I'll go into the movie fair, and I'll try and just look at the movie as it is. But I can't lie to you and say that if Kylo Ren dies, it's going to heavily impact my viewing experience. Do you know what I mean? It's going to heavily impact how I feel, not only about Episode 9, but about Episode 8 and 7 as well. Because if it just leads up to him dying, what was the point? What was the point in making another trilogy just to kill off the last living, like, male Skywalker? Do you know what I mean? Because that would feel like a slap in the face to the original fans who complain that Disney are ruining Star Wars, but they seem to be the ones that want Kylo Ren to die the most because he killed Han Solo. And that's proof, apparently, that he is beyond redemption, despite the fact that that's the reason he's going to be redeemed. Because how can you be redeemed if you haven't done something that requires being redeemed? If Kylo Ren hadn't killed Han Solo in Episode 7, the question of redemption wouldn't be as, like, hot of a topic, because you can't be redeemed if you don't do something that requires a redemption. So if he didn't do something horrible and evil to both us, the audience, and the characters in the movie, you wouldn't even think about a redemption, because if he comes back to the light side after not killing Han Solo, that's not a redemption, that's just him changing his mind. Oh, actually, guys, I don't want to be a bad guy anymore. But if he does something horrible in the first movie, that is like, that's the branch that starts the redemption, if you get what I mean. So, that's just my take on it. I've rambled on for far too long. This isn't Star Wars, obviously, but that's my take on it personally. I feel like, I don't want to be that guy, but I feel like people are kind of missing the point. You know, I feel like him killing Han Solo isn't, that's it, he can't be redeemed. Because I feel like that's the reason he's going to be redeemed. Because if not, Han Solo died for nothing. He went out there to try and save his son. And if Kylo Ren just ends up dying, Han Solo, Luke, they all died for nothing. So, really, the entire story is just really heavily on whether or not he dies, I guess. I don't know, maybe I'm looking too into it. Probably am, but yeah, my opinion on it, I'm firmly like, yeah, he's gonna be redeemed. But again, if he isn't, I will try and be fair. I won't just immediately go, oh, this is terrible and horrible because I didn't like it and it ruins Star Wars. That's bullshit, alright? Shut up. And if so, I'm gonna go off on a rant now. If The Last Jedi ruined Star Wars for you, that's probably your fault, if you get what I mean. Because if you're gonna let one movie ruin an entire franchise for you, that's your fault. I'm sorry, but that's not the movie's fault. That's your fault for letting the movie get to you that much. Because, you know, talking about a show like Lost even, a lot of people hate the ending of that show and they say it ruins the entire show. And I don't get that at all. Yeah, sure, I really loved the ending, but even if I hated the ending, I would have still loved everything up until that point. It's not like the ending existing ruins everything for me. But that's just me. Maybe I'm more of a journey than a destination kind of guy. And like I said, if Episode 9, you know, if Kylo Ren does die, that will maybe ruin the other movies. So I guess I get it in that way, but at the same time, I just feel like I don't know, I just feel like it really isn't that deep. And if you're gonna go out and say, oh, this movie ruined Star Wars for me, I feel like that's just your own problem, you know? That's not the movie's problem. The movie existing ruined Star Wars for you. Just ignore it. Just don't even consider it canon. Done. Easy. Like, I don't... Maybe I can't relate because I like the new movies, but I don't know. It just seems like a lot of complaining to me. Anyway, we just went on a massive rant about Star Wars, because that's what we do here, isn't it? That's what I do. Go watch my Star Wars video. It's really good, actually, and I think it deserves more views than it has. But the video is really long, and I don't like that. I don't like how long it is. But there was a lot of stuff to pack in there, you know? There's a lot of stuff to talk about. I've been rambling probably longer than the actual match now, so I'll leave you. Sorry about this, but, you know, what do you expect? This is what we do here at Giggles Reacts Incorporated Corporation headquarters. Yeah. I was about to say Scientology. I don't know how that's relevant. Anyway, see you.